Like if they said no animals allowed in these apartments, like this is a no animal friendly apartments and you got an animal up in here, like
Yo, YBH.
it's your girl Ree and I'm back with another video. As y'all can see, my Barbie ponytail is still holding up. She's still holding on. Shout out to Organique because baby. Anyways, y'all, welcome back to my channel. All right, y'all, so I think I want to start an apartment series, but I don't know. People been DMing me saying, oh, you're gatekeeping. People been asking me questions about like how to get your apartment. I'm gonna put y'all on. I'm gonna tell y'all what I did. I'm gonna tell y'all things that I didn't do that I wish I did. I'm gonna give y'all the whole nine. I have everything written down in my notes that I need to touch base on, so I got y'all. The first thing I have on here is start looking for apartments 6 to 8 months in advance. I know 6 to 8 months seem like a long time, but you don't, apartment is somewhere that like you gonna be living there for at least a year. If you sign a 1-year lease, you're going to at least be living there for a year. So you want to make sure that you very sure about where you want to stay before you sign that lease. That way it gives you time to plan your finances. It gives you time to plan out moving expenses, first month's rent, the next month's rent, like just, you know what I'm saying? The next thing is when you look for apartments, the area that you're looking to live in. That plays a very important role. You want to look at crime rate. You want to look at just all other things to make sure that the area that you stand in is safe, because again, you're going to be staying there for a year, like at least a year. If you sign a 1-year lease, if you decide to re-sign your lease, then again, like you're going to at least be there for a year. So Google apartments and just write them all down on a paper or just write them in your notes. And then the next thing I would say to do is separate the apartments by areas. This is something that I wish I would have done. I wrote all the apartments down that I wanted to go look at, and then I didn't put them in order, didn't organize in terms of apartments on the north side and apartments on the south side. I would just be going to look at apartments and I'll be driving from the north side to the south side and back to the south side again, and it was just all over the place. So one thing that I wish I would have did was say, okay, Monday I'm gonna go look at apartments and I'm gonna look at all the apartments that's on the north side that I wrote down that I like. And then Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever other day you choose to go look at apartments again, then you can go on the south side and look at all the south side apartments. That way you're not driving back and forth in one day. Or if you're doing like a specific city, say you like, okay, I'm gonna look at all the apartments in Pearland, and then you just do another area on another day. That way, like I said, you're not doing that back and forth. I was looking at apartments on the south side, and then the other apartments that I will go look at, it will be on the north side, then I'm back on the south side, and I'm like, wait, wasn't I just over here? So just group them up so that you go look at them on one day and they all, you know, at least around the same area or something. Also, separate them by amenities. Which one has washer and dryer, which one got stainless steel appliances, which one got carpet, which one got wooden floors. Just separate them like that. When you separate them like that, that way you're more organized, so you know which apartments are like deal breakers for you and which apartments are like a no-no. That's another thing I wish I would have did. I wish I would have, after I went to go see the apartment, I wish I would have said, okay, I'm gonna cross this one off my list because this one doesn't have something that I really wanted. I was still kind of like, I don't know, when all I had to do was just go look at the apartments. Like I said, after you look at them, you cross out which ones have things that you don't like. So say you go to look at this apartment and it has carpet, and they're telling you like, all the apartments that we have available are all carpet. We don't have wooden floors. If wooden floors are a deal breaker for you, if you have to have wooden floors in your apartment, then if you go to look at this apartment and all they have is carpet, then boom, cross that off your list so that you get that out the way. It's doing basically like a process of elimination. You just like, okay, this one not for me. This one don't have a washer and dryer. This one not for me. That makes it a lot easier, because me, I was like, I'm not going to move into any apartments unless it has a washer and dryer. Like my deal breakers were washer and dryer. It had to have a washer and dryer. It had to have carpet. And it's just because I like the aesthetic of wooden floors. I like how wooden floors look. But y'all, when it get cold in the wintertime, child, and I know you can wear socks, you can wear house shoes. It just makes me cringe to just walk on wooden floors when it's cold. Like, even if I got shoes on, even if I got socks on, it's just wooden floors. Like, they're cute for the aesthetic. I like people that have apartments that have wooden floors, but me personally, I love the carpet. I don't know, I love the carpet. So carpet was a deal breaker for me. Like I said, washer and dryer, stainless steel appliances. And I'm not saying that may be the case for you, but you choose how you want to live. Like, if you like the white fridge or the black refrigerator, then that's fine. But like I said, this is just my preference. It had to have like a big closet, just stuff like that, stuff that you cannot live without. Don't even waste your time going to look at apartments that doesn't have what you need or doesn't have what you want. So call them first and find out, like, hey, do y'all have any apartments that are like wooden floors? If they say no, all our apartments are fully carpet, then you know, okay, I'm not even gonna go look at those apartments because they don't have what I want. Because who gonna have time to be going to a laundromat all the time? Like I said, I'm not gonna take no apartment unless it has a washer and dryer in there. Check out the cost. Of course, you're gonna also compare that when you have your list. You're gonna look at your list and you're gonna look at the cost, what your budget is, what you're looking to spend, you know, stuff like that. What can you afford each month? If my rent is $1,500, I don't want to look at any apartments that's over $1,500. That's just out of my budget. That's also a process of elimination. It's kind of stay within your ballpark. So another reason why it's important to just write them down or just have them like in order or something, just so you know which ones are like top priority, you know. How much food and other household items will cost outside of rent. Well, don't just look at it as, okay, my rent is $1,500, all I need is $1,500 a month. You need more than $1,500 because after you pay rent, you have other expenses like light bill, water, cable, sewer. They charge you sewer separate. I got valet trash, so all I have to do is put my trash outside my door and they'll come get it. So I have to pay extra for that, parking, all that stuff. Like, you have to just include all that stuff. Toilet paper, napkins, just, you know, little stuff that you need. Bath soap, toothpaste. You know, when you're living at home, your parents buy all that stuff. So that's something that you have to make sure that you remember to include when you're looking for apartments. Include those in your cost of living. Look at qualifications for the apartment. For example, some apartments require you to make 2 times the rent. Some apartments require you to make 3, and I even been to some apartments where they require you to make 4 times the rent. Look at your paycheck, look at how much you make, and again, you do process of elimination. If you look at the qualifications and they're saying you need to make 4 times the rent, and you know you don't make 4 times the rent, and don't even bother to go look. I mean, you can go look at it just for fun, but automatically you're gonna know, like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to get this apartment because it's 4 times the rent. Some of them require 3 times the rent, but it requires you to have like a guarantor or like a co-signer. If you don't have a co-signer, then it's pointless in you going to look for that apartment, because if you know you're not gonna have nobody to co-sign for you, then, you know, I mean, like, again, if you want to go look at it just to look at it, just to see how it looks, because some people do just like to go just like apartment shopping just to look at apartments and see how they are. So if you just want to go look at it, then go look at it. But if you just want to do process of elimination just to make the process easier, then that's what I would recommend. Another one for qualifications is, do they count overtime when they're trying to determine how much times the rent you make? So if you're guaranteed 60 hours a week, then they're gonna count your 60 hours a week. Anything over that's overtime, they're not gonna count that towards your income, because that's overtime, and overtime is not always guaranteed. Like, sometimes you pick up and you do overtime, and sometimes they have enough staff and they might not need you. So, you know what I'm saying? So overtime isn't guaranteed time. So there's some apartments that only count your for sure hours, like full time. After that, if anything over, they're not gonna count that in terms of determining how much you make, because again, overtime is not always guaranteed. Move-in dates. Move-in date, when they charge you like your first month's rent, your first month's rent is going to be determined by when you move in. If you move in on the 1st, whatever your rent is, they might have you pay that full amount since you moved in on the 1st. If you move in on like the 15th or the 16th or the 17th, you're just gonna pay for those days up until the 30th or the 31st, depending on how many days the month have. So stuff like, can you have pets, stuff like that. Like if you know you got pets, you got dogs, cats, whatever, you have to check if the apartment allow you to have dogs and stuff, or if they allow your type of pets. Because I know like my apartment, certain dogs aren't allowed here. Some people, they still get animals and hide them inside their apartments or whatever, but if there's like an emergency and like the maintenance people gotta like come inside and work on something or do something and you're not here and your dog just in the apartment, when you put on your lease that you did not have a dog, they can like fine you really bad. And it depends on the apartment. Some apartments, they'll probably just charge you a fee. They are gonna flip. Yeah. Parking, so check out parking. Are you gonna have a covered parking space? Because if you got one of them nice cars, and again, depending on the apartment that you stay in, you don't want to just park your car. You have to look at stuff like that, like parking. Like I looked at these apartments and they were so nice, but like the parking was like, people was parking across the street from the apartments, and I'm just like, I don't have time to be coming home and having to like search for a parking. Like I don't be having time for that. So you have to look at stuff like that. Like, are you gonna have assigned parking, designate parking? Can you pay for parking? All that stuff. Check all that stuff out. Are you gonna have covered parking? Just all of that stuff you just look into. Just ask every single detail. And yeah, like that's all I really have. No question is a stupid question. All the questions that you have inside your head, ask them before you look at this apartment and you sign this lease, because once you sign the lease, you're going to be there for, like I said, at least a year or however long you sign for. So make sure you ask all the questions you need to ask. Find out everything you need to find out before you move in and before you sign that lease, because once that signature on that paper, they need their money every month. Like they need their funds every month. So yeah, but that's all the tips and advice I have for getting an apartment. If y'all have specific questions that y'all want to ask me, I'm finna put my Instagram on the screen and y'all could just DM me personally and I will answer the questions. I feel like I touched base on everything, but if there's, like I say, anything that I left out that y'all want to know, just DM me. Or if you don't mind putting in a comment, you can put it in a comment and I'll answer you and let you know. So yes, y'all, so this is in this video. Stay tuned for my my series that's coming up. I think I'm gonna do a decorating my living room series, so make sure y'all stay tuned for that. I don't know when that's coming, but I'm getting my stuff together for that. But yeah, make sure y'all stay tuned. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend and tell her friend.